this is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm at a point now, like with myself, like I feel comfortable in myself to kind of take this step, and I'm just kind of excited. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that's all I got right now.
Good memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good memes to the people.
I got meme. All I got is my memes and my name.
With more to come. With a lot more to come.
All right, welcome back to the BrewedAt Podcast for our holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah edition.
That's right.
Woo! Tonight it's just us, me, Cole, Evan Blum.
Evan Blum.
Evan Blum, I've been pronouncing your name wrong for the last little year and a half, I guess.
I'm a gentleman.
Okay, well, thank you for being so kind to me. Yeah, we wanted to catch up, and we've had a couple episodes under our belt now. We've talked to some people in the industry, kind of recollect ourselves. You guys have a lot going on. I got some stuff going on. Kind of catch up and see what's happening.
Yeah, what's going on, Rich?
Yeah, I quit my job. That's what that's happening. Yeah, I no longer work at Victory. It's been something that I've been thinking about, for a while. It feels like, from an outside perspective, that maybe all these things have something to do in common, like this podcast, and I'll get into it. But like my friend Allison opening up her bar, but really kind of all these things were kind of independent of each other, and then it just kind of all fell into place. So I've been very open with Victory and all my other employers over the years that, my end goal was always to open up my own brewery. And, while I was working there, I was always kind of dedicated to it, kind of, married to those breweries. And I felt like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready mentally, emotionally. We just had Allison on, but I am so close to them, and I saw them from square zero start this thing and open it. And now I'm at a point where, I'm kind of trying to do the same thing. Like, I'm trying to open up a brewery. A brewery is essentially a bar that produces its own goods. And I watched them, build this business from square zero. And I was so close to it. And it's like, I saw this roadmap of like, I know what I need to do to make this happen. And it's been my dream to open up my own brewery. And it made sense with everything happening in my life right now that I just kind of sat down with my parents. I'm like, I'm going to quit my job. Like, this is something that I need to do. I mean, Evan, you haven't quit your job, not yet, but like Evan has quit his job, and you went through the same circumstance, a couple of years ago. And it got to the point where I could not. My desire to open up a brewery was stronger than my desire to represent Victory. And I had this opportunity where Sam and Allison were opening up a bar, so I could step away and I can bartend for them. So I will be bartending at the Boozy Mutt. We have this opportunity now where we're podcasting, so I'm able to kind of step away but still kind of be in the game. We talked to the Carbon Copy guys, and, this is a very normal thing. When people go to open up a brewery, they go and work in, the, service industry. And I've never been a bartender before, and I know that when I open up my own place, probably 90% of my revenue is going to be sold over the bar.
Yeah.
And, the fact that I don't have any experience there, I think I need experience there to open up my own place to be successful. And it made a lot of sense for me to step away. And I needed to, this is going to sound so dumb, but I've thought about this for a while. It's, and I don't like Jordan Peterson. This sounds like a very weird thing. I don't like Jordan Peterson. I think a lot of his ideas are crazy, but he has this idea about like when people become adults, they have to kill this mental. He says you have to kill your parents, which is insane. But what he's talking about is like killing the mental construct in your head that you have something that's looking out for you. And it's like when you kill that, it's like that's when you become an adult where like you are then your own person. And it got to the point where like even if I wanted to like kind of start to make steps of my own to open up my own place, I was always felt like I was dedicated to Victory. Yeah. And it's not just Victory, it's anybody I've worked for. And like I love Victory. Feel like I'm leaving there on a good note. And, you know, it has nothing to do with what they're doing. But I needed to put it behind me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I had the opportunity now to step away to bartend. And it just kind of all fell into place. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I've taken this leap of faith. I have no financial security right now. You know, I have bills to pay. I have a mortgage. And, you know, I'm hoping that things will work out. You know, we're making a little bit of money here ads-wise, but, like, not enough to support my mortgage, you know. But it's something that, you know, at some point I needed to do. This is my entire life has been kind of based around me eventually opening up my own place. So I don't know what the future holds. I know that in the next 6 months, I have kind of a plan of attack about what I want to do and kind of get into that a little bit. But I know that I feel really good about this right now. It's been weighing on me for the past year about something that I've been thinking about. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I feel like it's been taking up like, you know, 50, 80% of my mental capacity just thinking about this is something that I wanted to do. And I can't talk about, you know, all these about it with all these people in my life mm-hmm. that I'm dealing with every day. Yeah. And, you know, just stepping away kind of lifted this weight off me where I'm like, as much as like my life is a total shit show right now, I feel so good. Like I feel like the monkey is ripped off and I can like openly talk about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'm going to open up my own brewery. I want to open up my own production facility where I'm making my own goods. I mean, that's what I'm good at. I'm not trying to make this long-term contract brewery. Like, as much as I've learned a lot about marketing beer and selling beer over the past couple of years, and especially in the last couple of months kind of doing this, you know, my bread and butter is making beer. And that's what I need to be doing as a career. So eventually I want to be opening up my own location. You know, by me doing that, I need to find a location, I need to get investors, I need to do all these things that aren't overnight things. So in the meantime, my plan is when the new year starts, create an LLC, create my name, create my brand, get a brewing license, and start contract brewing. In the meantime, you know, kind of using some of these local people and kind of moving on from there. But yeah, it feels great to do this. I know that you've done this about a year ago, and yeah, I don't know. It's insane. It feels like my whole life is happening like 10,000 miles an hour right now. And it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, we went to New York together, and you are so incredibly perceptive, and you're so articulate with the beer industry, with what you like, with what you don't like. I know we stepped away learning so much from you, and just that one. Like sitting, if there's one person I know is super passionate about, you know, the industry and the creation, it's you. So it's super exciting that you're making that change. And I guess in your eye, you know, you don't want to live with regrets.
Yeah.
And, you know, stunt your growth, and, you know, you are always networking, and you're on this podcast talking to people about what they do the best, and you're seeing how passionate they are about what they create. The labels they make, the things they put into the beer, the different hops.
And I mind that everybody that's on here also does the same exact jump into what they're doing.
Everybody has to make it at some point. And it's like, I needed to rip the Band-Aid off. It made total sense. I mean, I just saw my best friends do this. And now I'm kind of involved with this startup, and it's like, it got to the point where it needed to happen. You know, like, sometimes, like, you know, out of college, I'm like, I'll work in the industry for 2 years. I'll work in the industry for 6 months. I'll be ready to go. Mm-hmm. And it just kept, like, the more I learned, the more I was in the industry, it was just, like, the more I realized I didn't know and I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But nobody's ready, you know? Nobody's actually ready to do it. At some point, you just have to do it. And I had an opportunity that I could step away, and, you know, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Did you feel like you were, like, lacking fulfillment when you were working for a larger brewer?
The job I had at Victory, so Tim is taking over. Tim's the new brewer there. pretty much a seamless transition. Like I left or I gave them my 2 weeks and he instantly started training with me, Tim Dean. And, I told him from the beginning, it's like, this is the best job I've ever had. And it is the best brewing job in the city. There might be more prestigious jobs at like Yards or some of these larger breweries. But I was given so much freedom to do whatever I wanted there. And it was a way for me, every single day I got to stand up in front of like unique people, customers, wholesalers, social media influencers, famous people would come in, and I was representing Victory. To them, I was Victory, and it's an awesome brand. I grew up even before I got into beer. I knew who Bill and Ron were. There's a reason why Victory is so big and why it's so successful, and it's because of Bill and Ron and the company that they've built. And I got to work with them, and like I'm lucky enough to like call Bill a friend. Ron, like I know him pretty well, and it's like I got to work side by side with these people, and to actually go out and like represent them was awesome. And essentially to like kind of put my stamp on Victory was, I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
So like I'm happy that I worked there, and I think Tim or anybody else who gets that opportunity to work there, it's the best job. You get the full support of Victory behind you. You get this creative freedom to do what you want, and you get put in this spotlight. What I thought that job was not what I was expecting. What it actually was. Like everybody's looking at you all the time. Because you're the only production member there, and they are so busy all the time, you get so much attention. And it's like a lot of the work there is not just production work. It's you representing Victory.
I don't know if we specifically have talked about your position at Victory before, but you were the head brewer of the Center City location, in charge of all the innovation brews on site.
Yeah, so I was essentially like a pub brewer, but because Victory is so large and established, and they don't have they're not Iron Hill, people, even though I was like making these pub brews, people were treating them like they were Victory releases. Yeah, and it was like this very cool opportunity to kind of go on and just like kind of establish myself and like put my stamp on like the Victory brand. And I'm grateful that I got to work there, and I learned a lot there. Like I said, like me leaving had nothing to do with that position or any of my managers or anything to do with the company. It was purely I needed to go do my own thing, and the desire to do that was stronger than the desire to represent Victory.
When did you start to feel like you could potentially open up something of your own?
I mean, I still don't. I mean, I feel like I can do it.
Is.
Yeah, like it's never the perfect timing. Like I don't know what my paycheck is gonna be like. I'm a bartender now, and like I'm getting this, and I have a mortgage to pay. Like it's.
Yeah, I think the question more though, is when you were working at Victory, when did you have the realization that you feel like you have the confidence in yourself enough that you could potentially leave and start to build your journey towards building
I had no idea what it was. And Sam, he's never done this before, and he just went out and did it.
Yeah.
And I just watched him and Allison build this thing. It was insane.
Yeah.
From like square one, like going from like an idea to then building it, like I've never seen anything like that before. So it was kind of seeing that happen, and then when they went public and they got all this attention for it, I just kind of realized like, oh shit, this is like even when he was doing it before that, I always felt like this was just something that he was kind of doing on the side, and then like it became very real for him. Like other people saw him doing it, and I watched him build it from square one. Yeah. Like I keep saying it, but like it was incredible. So seeing that, and then talking to all these other people, and I've always felt confident myself to like brew beer and market beer and like create brands and stuff. But I don't have any business experience. Ever since I graduated college, even though I have a business degree, the only thing I've done is brewing.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like saw this in-depth look of like how a business operates, how these projected like P&L statements were run, and it made sense to me. And I seriously didn't think about how it was going to work, but it just, I don't know what exactly I'm going to do, but I've just seen this happen. And I'm at a point in my life where, like, I'm comfortable enough to do this. And, you know, I'm happy that I did, but there's a long road ahead, and it's like a long, uncertain road. You know?
I mean, first off, congrats.
Thanks. I mean, everyone's telling me congrats, but, like, nothing's happened besides I quit my job so far. But
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
There's a mentality shift that you have to get to even be able to do that. Yeah. And that's what happened. And that's a large step of that journey that you're, like, going on and you're going to tackle. So that's exciting. That's really exciting, and that's fun to watch.
Yeah, and I'm excited. It's, you know, I've seen, you know, kind of what you guys have been doing, like, with all this, you know, building up, like, this new craft beer era where it's, like, in touch with the younger generation. And, you know, a lot of what people are saying about, like, craft beer is dead, and, like, you know, it's a dying industry because it's sunk from, like, what, 17 to 13%. Like, I don't see that. You know, like, what I'm seeing is, like, the people that are doing things right are being very successful. You know, there's breweries that have opened up in the last 3 years. New Ridge, where is it? New Trail opened up 3 years ago. They're going to sell 60,000 barrels next year. I wouldn't call that a failing industry.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Human Robot is one of the best breweries in the country. They just opened up 3 years ago. You know, we just had Carbon Copy on. They're selling a ton of beer. Like, in my mind, it's not that it's a dying industry. It's an oversaturated industry with a lot of people doing some weird stuff. And you're seeing a lot of the failure as opposed to the success, and people are talking about that more. But I don't see it as a failing industry.
Yeah, and I mean, something that I hear all the time. So, man, I've been on this journey for probably 2 years now. I quit my job about a year ago to do this full time. And this is something that it's simple to me. I find passion in doing this. It's not about me joining and, like, me and Cole joining the craft beer boom time of what craft beer is. Yeah. Just joining that. I like the way that I see craft beer, or the way that we see craft beer. Like, that's kind of how we want to show it. Like, that's exciting. And while we're in this place, we hear all the time that, oh, well, craft beer and Gen Z doesn't really, like, Gen Z is not really into craft beer. And to me, that is the most frustrating statement. I'm not going to name any names, but no, it's craft beer isn't marketing correctly to Gen Z.
Absolutely. People, I think, sometimes miscalculate, BrewedAt as a creators. They do. Social media creators. You guys aren't creating excitement about craft beer. The excitement is there. It's just not being shown or shown to the correct people or shown in the correct manner. And you guys are kind of, like, taking that and running with it. And it's like, I feel the same exact way that, like, I think a lot of people are jaded, and there's a lot of, like, negativity in the craft brewing world. And I think that those people are, like, totally off.
I completely agree. And, there's so many things, though, just daily that we see. This gets me so excited for the craft beer industry. I mean, just the other day we saw Bonesaw is opening up their own a brewery. It's called, like, the Pilot Room. It's all plain themed, like plain style, like, or just the beer names are probably named after planes, and, like, there's a plane in the
it's awesome.
Like, and a big thing we see with, like, the trends of, like, Gen Z and millennials, they want experiences, you know, and that's an experience. That's like, that is, like, I always say it's like Disney. Like, some breweries are like Disney World, like, attractions, and there's no, like, the restaurants can have great ambiance and everything, but breweries, it's so open-ended. It's really whatever you want to do with it. You want to make it about planes on a runway, you can do that.
We just had John Old on it. The episode's going to come out after this, of Philadelphia Brewing. Philadelphia Brewing hasn't changed what they're doing in 18 years. They're still around. And you can say what you want about them, but they're doing their thing. They're one of the largest breweries in the city. And I feel like a lot of breweries they feel like they need to constantly be chasing the thing, constantly be reinventing themselves. And it's not about, you don't need to be reinventing. They're wasting their money. They're spinning their tires. They just don't know how to market. So, like, the fact that they're not getting attention they're not doing the right thing.
Yep.
They're not marketing it correctly. They need to focus on what they're doing. They need to focus on what they're good at, how they're unique in their own right, not copying other people.
Yeah.
And let people like you show them how to then show how unique and cool they are.
Yeah. So in Philadelphia Brewing, we just recently went to for the first time in the Peacock Room.
Yeah.
And oh my God, what a cool brewery, man.
And even the tasting room themselves, it's expanded, it's changed in the last couple of years, but they're still true to themselves. And like we talked about last episode, like that whole area is exploding in the next couple of years. That tasting room is going to be so popular.
Cool, right? I mean, like, anyone that's listening that's ever been there, it's like a super old brewery from like the 1800s that they moved into. It's super vintage, like a fireplace going. Like, it's such a cool place to bring people into Philly if you love history and everything. It's awesome. So there's so many places in Philly that are super historic as well, but I mean, also awesome experiences. So it's such a huge variety, and that's what makes our job pretty easy in some ways. Is we can go to so many different breweries and so many different experiences. You know, it's not like we went to this place, it looks the same. We went to this place, it looks the same. Every place we go has its own feel, feel like the neighborhood, or feel of the like what's in the brewer's mind, what he's passionate about. There's so many different ways so many different angles they come at it from it. It's really cool.
There's so many angles that then I think, we can like showcase that from.
Exactly.
And like something I hear a lot too, breweries all have to run their own social media from our eyes, and that's a hard thing to do, especially when you're working at the same place every time. And I think that's why us showing like all the new stuff in your area is really fun, and that makes our job fun. Yeah. And I think that shows out while we do what we're doing also.
Yeah. And the craft beer industry is dying. I mean, my friend, he's like, hey, I'm going to the mountains. We're all looking for a brewery. Like, any idea where to go? It's always I get asked all the freaking time. I mean, I enjoy it. It gets a little annoying. I get a lot of text, but like, people go places and they're like, where can I? What brewery can I go to? It is a way of connecting to that community. So it makes sense. I mean, like, it's cool to go to a local place, find that local brewery that a place you've never been to. Talk to the bartender. He's probably lived there for a really long time. There's a lot of stories to tell. It's cool.
Dude, I went to Vermont for the first time maybe like 2 months ago, and in my friend group, or in our group, like, I am the brewery guy, but besides being the brewery guy, they took me to 4 different breweries just because that's what there was to do in the area. Like, that itself. And these guys are 24 years old. That's Gen Z at the beginning of it. And I see that, I'm like, it's not the breweries. It's not the generation. It's the way you approach it.
The product is there. It's not like it's a bad product. Mm-hmm. It's just people aren't marketing it correctly. People aren't kind of showing it off. And, I don't like this negative idea of craft beer.
Yeah, I think the same thing.
It's hurting. And I think that people are jaded online, and they write all these negative things on like these like meme posts and like these meme pages, and like write these crazy things about like, it just, to me, it sounds like old men yelling at clouds. And it's like these people that like, it's not like it was in 2015 when it was growing 20% every year. Like, get over yourself. Like, you think like you doing nothing and like it just naturally going 20% is like normal. That's not normal for an industry. It's like
not normal
for
any industry
now. And it's, just because you're not keeping up with the times, just because you're not doing stuff, doesn't mean that, craft beer is dead. Yeah. There's all of these places. Nutro, literally 3 years old, 60,000 barrels this year. That's insane.
That is insane.
Yeah. I think that is maybe a pretty good segue into something that we're putting together, where the main goal for us in the beginning of starting this was to get people into these breweries that are exciting us. Like, the most recent video we put out was Crime and Punishments. Make great beer, all themed in like Russia, and there's so many cool. We've already talked about so many different cool experiences you can have from just Philadelphia with the brewery scene, but we want to make it as easy as possible for people to bounce around these breweries and get a feel for how incredible this scene is. And we had this idea of putting together like a passport where someone can just pay one upfront flat fee, and they can hit few of our favorite breweries that we think are worth checking out in Philadelphia to really get you, I guess, integrated and acclimated into the scene. So
into the scene, a pretty base, go look and see what's in your neighborhood. So we're partnering with around 20 breweries that are specifically in Philadelphia with our partner Let's Rally. So we're really excited to put this all together, and it's going to be a 2-month long passport. Each place you go to, you can get a free beer at. So it's super exciting, and it's super, I don't know, it's something that I think I would fucking love if I saw that. And I think that's kind of the idea. We want to make it accessible, easy to go to, and exciting.
Yeah. Can we talk about Let's Rally then a little bit? You guys are working with Let's Rally. Let's Rally app on the App Store, RALLIE. But it just makes perfect sense that you guys are working with them, because they take people like you guys or anybody else kind of in the city that's doing fun stuff, and they kind of show them what's happening. So you can put in, you're going out with 8 people. You can go on the app, going out with 8 people and kind of what you want to do, restaurants, bars, breweries, whatever you want to do, and kind of tells you what to do. But it just makes sense that you guys are partnering with somebody like this, because what lucky. You guys do is that you guys take these things and are kind of showing the world, what's available in craft beer.
Yep.
And Let's Rally is kind of doing the same thing with kind of everything. And you're just kind of this niche version of that within this larger scope of what they're doing. And it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah. We're so fortunate for the Let's Rally team.
And that's so well said, too.
Yeah, so well said. It's a great app to just figure out something to do over the weekend. There's always that person in the friend group that's what are we doing this weekend?
Yeah.
And they make it way easier.
But and they partner with experts like you guys to say, look, these are the breweries that you should go to. All these places are cool places. And by the way, you get a discount when you go to any of them.
Yep. And the seamless, he and their team they're making it such a seamless integration for the brewery passport, where it's all integrated into the app. This QR code, you're going to walk up, scan for the pour, super easy. There's, everything's geo. Location, it's gonna have your location, so it's gonna know exactly where you are. It just makes it so easy. It's we had this idea and we met their team, and it was a match made in heaven.
It's my 2 favorite things: not putting any effort into anything and drinking with my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're incredibly grateful, and I think this event. With Pettis Passport, it's called Crafted in Philly.
Yeah,
I want to make sure
nice. Yeah, good plug. Good plug.
I think we're calling it our I don't know,
There's a new logo.
Name. It's the prototype name. It's the BrewedAt Passport, but it's
Crafted in Philly. And logo will pop up now.
Yeah. Hopefully you can figure that one out. But listen, it's for people that love craft beer, people that have been drinking craft beer for a very long time. We're not we're talking about Gen Z and millennial, but of course the people that have been loving the craft beer scene in Philadelphia.
I mean, we're now hosting this podcast, and I haven't been to a lot of these places, and a lot of that is just it's not on my radar, or I'm just not thinking about it. But if it's right in my face, I'm going to do it.
Yep. So, like I said, for the craft beer lovers that have loved it for 20 years, but it's also for people, this is a really cool thing to do on your weekend. There are so many cool experiences you're going to have in Philly, and so many different places you can explore as well at the same time through the craft beer scene. Everyone loves drinking on the weekend. You're going to do it anyways. Might as well help something local.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's exciting.
And experience some awesome spots.
Everybody's got its own personality. I mean, that's what we love about this business.
And the craft beer is really, really good too. So
yes.
Beer is good.
Beer is good. So
nice.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know what else. We got some Christmas beers here. I mean, this is our holiday episode, so I think that's pretty fun itself.
Yeah, I just learned that you were telling me that the Christmas beers are all a super high percentage, which we start grabbing these beers. We all got these Christmas beers, and I started drinking. I'm like, wow, okay, this tastes great, but I can tell it's strong. It's like a 9.2%. Here's the 10. Here's the 9.8.
9.8, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas, holidays, the most stressful time of the year. As much as it's the greatest time of the year, it's the most stressful.
It is.
And sometimes, you're with your family, you're with your extended family. You don't see too often.
Or in-laws or something.
Yep, somebody said something crazy, and you're like, I need to drink 3 beers in one.
Yeah. Speed up the process a little bit here.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just winter beers. It's a little cold out. Slap on a little beer jacket. I think it just kind of makes sense. Also, a lot of the Christmas beers are like these stouts and like kind of spice stouts that are a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
But yeah, my yearly Christmas routine is wake up, drink some Pilsners, some light beers, mix in like a sour here and there. And about 4 p.m., I start drinking the heavy stouts. Drink a couple of them, and then about 8 p.m., start hitting the hard stuff, whiskey, something like that, and then pass out about 10 p.m.
I think if you pass out around like 2 p.m., man, you're starting early.
He's a brewer. It's okay.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, man, as it gets cold start up in the APV. I think it's crazy. It's a little off topic, but like, I just learned how to ski recently, and everybody's drinking on the ski slopes.
Yeah.
The amount of craft beer I've seen, just like this, when you're on the ski lifts, you'll see a giant trash can of people because they know people are drinking, so they'll throw their cans.
Skiing is scary. If you just buzz yourself a little bit, it's like playing beer pong. You're always a little bit better when you're drunk.
Exactly.
What craft beer is in the trash can?
That's a good question, man.
Not in a like bad way, but like in a finish the craft beer sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to bring one to the slopes, I mean,
I know
we got this guy. He's snowboarding.
Bear Creek last year had Victory, 6 Point, and New Trail were their craft beers. I know because I was drinking them the entire time. But, yeah, I normally go for. I know this is disgusting, but I drink Bud Light and Fireball.
It's always the shooter.
I've never heard that combo.
I'm like embarrassed to say that, but
okay.
I don't know. I feel like every single time I go skiing, it's just like 6 Bud Lights in the pants, a couple Fireball shots.
Yeah, I know we were talking about Vermont earlier.
Yeah.
I guess I'm bringing it up again here with I go skiing up in Killington and Long Trail, right? Long Trail's the brewery up there. It's like on every tap. Yeah, it's okay, but that's always what I'm drinking when I get like in the cab. You're all cozy. You just like sip on that like Long Trail. Vermont has some pretty good craft breweries. It's like one of the least populated states, Vermont.
It has the best breweries. It's the brewery capital of the United States.
It really is.
One of the least populated states in America. I think the second least populated has the best breweries. What's up with that, guys?
Yeah, wait.
They breed some in the water.
Heady Topper's from there, and they've won best beer.
Yeah, I mean they basically invented the hazy IPA.
Yeah, it's wild, and I forget where else we went. Von Trapp. Yeah,
I didn't realize they were up there.
Yeah, we went to Von Trapp, and they recently just did a collab with Human Robot, and I was like, holy shit, I've learned about you guys because of Human Robot.
Yeah.
I'm like, now I'm here. I know they're a big place too.
Cold weather places, I think, always make good beer because it's naturally cold out. And, like a lot of times, brewing equipment has a hard time like keeping up with that load, the refrigerant load, and if places are cold, they don't have to deal with that a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like most cold places have good beer.
And I mean the West Coast too. I feel like the West Coast IPAs.
Definitely.
Yeah, but then you get the hazies. That's interesting. I didn't know that it was like very predominantly brewed in like the Vermont area. You say.
Well, West Coast is West Coast IPAs.
Right.
So they make like the bitter, Lagunitas type IPAs with their resinous and stuff, and then like East Coast, New England IPAs would be like the fruitier, hazy IPAs.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Where now it's just everyone makes everything, but that's kind of what they talk about.
What's your favorite beer to make?
To make hazy IPA because it's the easiest, but I like lagers the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, hazy IPA is definitely the easiest. There's like so much hops in it that it's just like, you're using the right, as long as you use the right yeast and like brew days right, it tastes great.
But have you made a lot of Christmas beers? or like holiday beers?
I made some at Victory. Actually, Flying Dog had some crazy stuff. We had a beer called Family Drama. It was a 10.2% Pilsner.
It's a great name.
I don't know how well it tastes, but it was something that got you drunk. Yeah, I made some Christmas beers. I don't especially. I mean, I'm drinking Christmas beer right now, but I mostly, like I said, start off with light beers and sours on holidays, and then kind of move into the Christmas beers. And I'm a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just talk about this beer. I brought the Hardywood and the St. Barnabas. So I told you this before we started. So what most people consider the best beer in the world, obviously taste is subjective, so it doesn't make any sense. But what's for a long time was always considered the best beer in the world was West Fluer 12, which is a Trappist monk brewery. And, for most of the time I'm going to get all these dates messed up, but for like 100 years, a couple hundred years, whatever it was, West Fluer, the Trappist monastery, was not making their own beer. It was made by St. Barnabas.
Interesting.
So, about 30 years ago, again, the dates might be a little off, but at some point, West Fluer took over actually making their own beer. So they started making their own beer, selling it, and it's supposed to be like the best beer in the world. And it's sold in wooden cases, and then you can only get one case per day. You're not allowed to resell it, all this other nonsense. But now, St. Barnabas 12, that you can find at almost every bottle shop in the country, made that beer with that recipe for a long, long time. I don't know the number of years. So the best beer in the world, West Fluer 12, they weren't even making it. So probably the people that were making it for that long are probably a little bit better at making it. You can probably buy the best beer in the world, West Fluer 12, a.k.a. St. Barnabas 12. I think it might be St. Barnabas 10, whatever it is. It's like it is the same exact beer as West Fluer 12, and you can buy it in most places around the country, any basically bottle shop around the country.
That is really interesting.
Yeah. But this is St. Barnabas Christmas Ale, so I picked that up because I wanted to tell everyone as much. I've never had West Fluer 12.
Yeah.
I'm sure it tastes delicious. And I'm talking shit on it, and I probably shouldn't be, but at some point I do want to try it. But it is the same beer as the St. Barnabas beer.
Is it Belgium?
Sure. Someone's country.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna mess all this up. I know all the dates are messed up, and I don't want to say some country that's not in, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's over there.
Gotcha. Yeah, we just had that beer from Belgium, or an import from over there. That was from
Nick.
Yeah,
Nick from
Stones.
Yeah.
Wearing his hat. Thank you for
the
that,
Belgica.
Nick. But yeah, that was legitimately one of the best beers I've ever had. Liam's a fairly big beer guy. He enjoys a beer.
Yo, shout out Liam. We don't give him enough props.
Yeah, sure. He's the one that helps with all the video, the studio and everything. But we both cracked it open, we sipped it, and we would look at each other. We're like, "Oh my god, thank you, Nick. This is so good." So yeah, Belgium definitely has some legendary brews coming out of there.
Definitely.
Shout out Belgium.
Also, Hardywood. So I brought this beer in specifically. Hardywood is a brewery out in Richmond. It's one of the best tap rooms I've ever been to. If you've ever been to Root Down and they have the old pinball machines there.
Yeah.
It's like that on steroids. It's 3 times the size, but it's basically looks kind of the same. You walk in, there's graffiti all over the place.
Cool.
Pinball machines. It's kind of like Barcade, but they make awesome beer. It's in this industrial park in Richmond. Richmond's an awesome city. They make great beer there. It's super underrated. But Hardywood they make great lagers. They make great IPAs. But what they're known for is this gingerbread stout that comes out every Christmas.
Yeah.
And now there's all these variations. I got this at Bottle Bar East. They have a couple different variations there. But yeah, it is in an age where people are overwhelmed with different types of craft beer. This is a staple that you can go to every single time, and it's good.
That's awesome.
I agree.
And it's it doesn't get enough attention.
Yeah.
I completely agree. That's a great one. I also love the number one, A Perfect Christmas Beer by a beer connoisseur quote. And just looking at this. And tastes like friggin' Christmas, our score 100 from Beer Advocate.
Nice.
So some impressive reviews there.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Maybe someday it'll say, "This beer is amazing" by BrewedAt Podcast.
True.
You'll know we made it then.
Okay, I'm looking at you. I was kidding. You can absolutely use that. We would be honored. But yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, and then I guess I'll do one quick. I brought Ship Bottom's Abominable Snow Monster Ale, and I think this one's kind of cool because right now this is in the finals of our craft beer winter bracket.
Yeah.
So they're
Of the can label, right?
Of the can art. So that's been something really fun, and everybody's been participating in that.
With honey, sugar, plums, figs, and cherries.
Yeah, and it does not taste like it is 10%. I'll tell you that.
Ooh,
it's really good.
Great artists over there.
A lot of these beers are, a lot of these. I know Victory has Merry Monkey, and then Trogs has
Mad Elf.
Mad Elf.
Right.
They use a lot of these like heavy sugars and like all these other things. And like this is like figs, honey, sugar, plums, cherries, and like a lot of that is just like fermentable sugar that's like more fermentable than malt. And it like gets to these like 10% levels, but then also has like all this complexity of these fruits and this depth that you don't normally get off just straight Pilsner malt.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. I know. So even bring it all the way back to the beginning, leaving your job. Best beer you think you made at Victory, and would you admit what you think was the worst beer you made?
The best beer I made was this beer. It was almost like a Bud Light Lime clone. There's this light rice lager that then I put like lime flavor in it. It tasted like almost like a more limey, sour Bud Light Lime.
Damn.
I love Bud Light Lime.
So do I.
It's a great beer, man. Great.
It was awesome. I drank so many of them, and I love that beer. And like rice lagers are super hard to make, and it was like a perfectly clean rice lager with this like lime flavor, and I loved it. And the worst beer I ever made was the first beer, which I actually made with Bill Kovaleski. He came in and brewed with me, and I just didn't. Like the boiler was messed up, and I didn't have no foam. I didn't have a way to like measure how strong the beer was, and I just like totally shit the bed like right in front of him. The beer was like so bad, and I was like freaking out, running around like having a panic attack in front of him. And he's just like, "Calm down, it's just beer. Like we can fix this. Like it's just 1 7-barrel batch of beer. Like it's all right." And I was just like, I was so embarrassed.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
that's scary as anything.
And the first brew on any system always sucks, but. To do it in front of like one of my heroes, like in the brewing, it was just like so embarrassing. And like I had spent the last year and a half because like I had gotten hired during COVID and it didn't happen until like September 2021. So I had like a full like year and a half of like in my mind I was like I'm going to make like the best beer in the entire world, and then just like totally shit the bed like. But it's over and done with.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You gotta go through those moments, though. I mean,
Builds character.
builds character. Yeah, well played. Well put.
Yeah. Do we got anything else we want to talk about?
Yeah, is there?
What else is? I mean, you guys got the passport. What else do you guys have going on? Just more videos, more content, supporting.
Yeah, we have the passport coming out, and then really just trying to continue to build who we are and what we're doing,
Yeah.
Nice.
So videos, be on the lookout at the BrewedAt Podcast and at BrewedAt. I have some good beer content.
Yeah, and like we said before, crafted in Philly. If you like what we do, this is literally just an easier way for you to.
No, I think
get
this.
to these
I think this is the start of something because when you guys first explained it to me, it didn't make much sense. But like everything that you guys do, you guys blow it out of the water. You guys surprise me, and now that you guys have all these people attached to it, it just makes so much sense to me now. I just don't have that type of vision, I guess. But I'm very excited for it. I think it's gonna be a very cool thing that a lot of people are gonna get involved with, and from here, I think you guys can do a lot of different things just with this kind of same concept.
Yeah.
With them, and the fact that you guys are partnering with Let's Rally, I think there's a lot of potential there.
Totally.
Yeah. Man, we're so excited.
Yeah.
So, more to come.
Yeah, more to come. I'm sure we're going to talk. Like I'm not going anywhere. I have a lot to say, but, this was kind of like I needed to get this off my chest. what I was saying, I did just kind of quit last week, but lots of stuff to come next year. But it's just I'm not ready to kind of talk about anything yet. But kind of. I think I've said my piece.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I mean, it's inspiring. I mean, we came over to your place and just talked to you about your potential ideas for something and all the sketches, all doodles and everything that you have for branding for beer. It's inspiring, seriously. So
yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's I know the biggest thing that I got from Sam and Allison doing this was just kind of they had this crazy concept, and it was less about having the perfect plan or figuring out what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know how exactly I want to do it, but it was just they just went out and did it, and they had this confidence in themselves to just kind of create and do this, and it's just it feels like I just kind of took this step into the unknown, but this is what I'm trying to say. I'm at a point now, with myself, I feel comfortable in myself to kind of take this step, and I'm just kind of excited. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
that's the best part, man.
Exactly.
That's so exciting.
So yeah, you've already done this, so we're kind of on this path together now, and excited for the future.
Yeah, man, and you're around the right people. They're not going to let you fail.
I mean, Allison just said it last time. Surround yourself with the right people. I'm hanging out with most of the time now with Sam and Allison and you guys who are both starting their own thing. I don't have a lot of free time right now, and my free time is spent around you guys who are creating your own things. So, just kind of excited about the future. So, I don't really have anything to plug besides the BrewedAt Podcast. But if you want to follow me on @Richie Tevlin, it's just my name. That's all I got right now.
Good memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good memes to the people.
I got meme. All I got is my memes and my name.
With more to come. With a lot more to come.